Good morning, everyone. Thank you very much for joining us today at the Volunteering and Job Fair. Whether you're joining us live or watching the recording, we hope you get a chance today to meet some of the organisations in the area doing both charity and community work, and we hope you get a chance to hear about volunteering job opportunities they have to offer and to find a role that fits what you're looking for. The structure of the day is as follows. We're going to have 5-minute presentations by each organisation. And after each presentation, we'll have an opportunity for questions and answers. So if you have any questions for the presenter, please just put it in the chat and we'll pick that up. If you have general questions, so something about the fair, or if you've requested one-to-one support, please just send us an email at info@kcsc.org.uk. We'll put that in the chat as well. We're going to also send around a booklet with more information about the organisations that are here today. So if there's anything that you miss or you want somebody's contact details, all of that will be provided. So we'll send that to you either via email or via text, depending on what you selected when you registered for the event. If you haven't registered for the event and you're just tuning in, you can also email us at the info account and we'll email you the booklets. That's all from me. We hope you enjoy, and yeah.
Okay, good morning. My name's Tracy. I'm the volunteer manager at the Rugby Portobello Trust in Woolmer Road in North Kensington, just near the Kensington Sports Centre. It's got nothing to do with rugby. I've already been asked twice this morning. It's a children's, youth and family support charity. It's actually been operating for 130 years in North Kensington. I used to take my children there over 20 years ago to the drop-in centre. If you know North Kensington, it's right at the heart of an area identified as having some of the highest levels of inequality in the borough. We provide a huge range of activities and support activities, from sporting to cultural and educational, and we are open all day, every evening, and during the holidays. We have a homework club for 6 to 12-year-olds, where children from all the local schools come after school at 3:45, 4 evenings a week. 2 are in the centre and 2 Tuesdays and Thursdays are online. We have a huge group of children with lots and lots of really amazing volunteer tutors. Running alongside our homework club, we also have a junior club, which is like a youth club for younger children, which goes up to 12, and that is 3 nights a week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. They do all manner of things, from sports to arts and crafts to competitions, trips, dancing, anything that they want to do, really. We also have 2 recording studios, which is called our Amplify programme, and that's used by a lot of our local young people who are really into music and to the spoken word. And we have slam competitions and put on shows. They're fantastic. We have a youth club 5 nights a week. One of those is dedicated to girls. It's called the Athena Club. And the other one is on a Thursday, is Man Cave. So if you just want to be with girls, come along on a Tuesday. If you just want to be with boys, come along on a Thursday. The rest are mixed. We also run a moms group, which is called Magic Moms. It's a glorious group. And that is 2 mornings a week on a Tuesday and a Thursday. You get breakfast, and then we share whatever we want to share. Parenting advice, relationship chats, the children get to play and are looked after all morning. We do some exercise, we have some mind well-being sessions, and some parenting courses. And that's just a lovely morning. We also at the moment are running one on Wednesday mornings for our local Afghan refugees, which is going down really well, and they're also doing some basic English. At the Magic Moms, we also have a baby equipment lending service. So if you need anything from vests for your baby to walkers or toys, then please come and borrow them. They're all fantastic condition. And we also have for our young people an employment advisor. So our employment advisor, Manira, can help anybody over 14 into placements, into work experience, into training. We have partnerships with the local colleges and a lot of companies through our apprentice advisory, and we can offer support in that to whoever needs it.
Hi, so my name's James. I'm the volunteer coordinator at Kensington and Chelsea Citizens Advice. So we have a lot of volunteer roles that we're currently recruiting for at the moment to join our organisation. We're currently based in Chelsea Old Town Hall, but a lot of our volunteering is currently done remotely due to the pandemic, and as we go forward and move out of the pandemic, we're hoping to sort of continue to have a mixture of remote working for those people who prefer that, and also some in-office working for people who are quite keen to get out and about and meet new people, which, you know, we're very keen to encourage as well. Our roles are very varied and a lot of opportunity for anybody interested. We're recruiting across the organisation for traditional roles that you might associate with citizens advice, like assessor and advisor roles, providing advice to people on welfare benefits, housing, employment, family relationships, debt, and so on. And the way that's delivered is manifested in a number of different ways. So some of our advisors and assessors help clients complete application forms for things like personal independence payments, employment support allowance, universal credit, I believe badge applications, reduction on utility bills, and also applying for grants. That can be done face-to-face or remotely. And then we have sort of these more generalist roles as well, which is advice on our advice line telephone, where clients ring up and their queries are addressed through that medium as well. But also we are recruiting as well for getting the office back up and running after the pandemic. So we're looking for admin and reception volunteers, people who can come into the office on a regular basis to provide that face-to-face greetings to clients coming into the office as we open up. And like I say, we're currently based in Chelsea Old Town Hall, but as things open up, we may move back into the north of the borough. And as well, we have a drop-in currently at the Methodist Church in North Kensington. And in addition to that, we are looking for people with, you know, organisational management sort of experience for how the back office can be supported and run, as well as tech experience for things like helping us to maintain and run our website, as well as people who have research and campaigns experience to help us run our research and campaigns work. So it's as you can probably imagine, it's quite there's a lot of opportunity doing all sorts of different things. So if you are interested in volunteering on a regular basis and can give, say, a day a week or even more if you can, then we'd be really keen to hear from you and to find out a bit more about your background and what sort of is motivating you to volunteer. So you can get in touch with us by contacting myself at james.cairns@citizensadvicekc.org.uk, and you spell my surname CAIRNS. So that's james.cairns@citizensadvicekc.org.uk. Or you're obviously welcome to drop into our Chelsea office Monday to Friday from 10 till 4 to inquire about volunteer roles as well, and someone will take your details and we'll get back to you. So thank you very much for listening.
Hello, I'm Sonia. I'm from Equal People Mencap, an organization that has been in North Kensington 31 years ago. We focus in two groups in the community. We focus in people with learning disabilities and people without learning disabilities that have mental health, because we knew like 4 years ago that after the disaster of Grenfell, a lot of people got really affected. What Equal People does, we help with independent living, housing management, support with medication in the community. We support workers, and also we have a center for learning disabilities. So, oh no, you can't see it. So, we have activities Monday to Friday, the 10 to 4, and we need volunteers, and also we are recruiting support workers and support worker leader as well. What sort of activities we do for learning disabilities is like yoga, music quiz, art, sports, gardening, cooking, massage, Zumba, boxing. So you may name it, we have it. So it would be nice if you want to volunteer, or if you want to be a support worker, just to support people with learning disabilities to be, living independent.
Hi, I'm Louisa from the Volunteer Centre Kensington and Chelsea, and I work in wellbeing. So basically we support people with mental health needs and people with disabilities, both physical disabilities and learning disabilities, to find supportive volunteering placements. And we also run a series of workshops. So we run self-care workshops on self-confidence, stress management, relaxation, and some creative and social workshops as well. So we currently have an art workshop, also a cook and chat workshop where people can meet online at the moment, and soon face-to-face as well, to try out healthy, tasty, fun and affordable recipes, and have a little chat at the same time. And we also have a new program for young people, for 18 to 35-year-olds who are residents of North Kensington. We'll be helping them to find volunteering taster sessions so they can try out different activities, running a gardening group with them, and we'll be having other activities throughout the year. And in the new year, we will also be running a Wellbeing for Interviews workshop by my colleague, our Wellbeing Officer, Etty, so I'm going to hand over to her now.
Hi, I'm Etty. As Louisa says, I'm the Wellbeing Officer at the Volunteer Centre. So we'll be running a new series of workshops starting on January the 13th, which will be a wellbeing approach to interviews. This is to help support people who have upcoming interviews or things they're anxious about, with kind of mindfulness, movement, empowering music. So really approaching those interviews from a wellbeing perspective and how we can build confidence. So yeah, it's going to be quite holistic. We're going to be picking tracks that are empowering and make you feel really confident, and building confidence with interview scenarios with pre-designed questions. So that'll be at the end of the series, so that people have a lot of practical knowledge as well as that new self-confidence to approach their interviews. So yeah, if you think you'd like to get involved, then you can contact me at etty.dh@bckc.org, and I'd be happy to register you. It's a free series of workshops specifically for that age group, 18 to 35-year-olds. And then, as Louisa said, you can also join our other programme of workshops. We do gardening every Wednesday. So yeah, lots to get involved with.
Hello, my name is Hannah. I'm from the ClementJames Centre. I wanted to tell you a little bit about our organisation, what we do, and how you might be able to get involved with our work. So we've been running as a charity in North Kensington for 40 years, and in that time, our programmes have changed and developed, and we've had a kind of consistent record of having really good results and winning awards as well, which is always nice to have your work appreciated. So we're based between the Lancaster West and Henry Dickens estates, and we work with people in the local community, adults and children from 7 years old all the way through to adults. And we offer group and tailored support to help people to reach their potential and live fulfilled lives. So I can tell you a little bit about what we do. So we've got 4 main programmes. So we work with young people, and our young people's programme comprises of our homework club called Academic Support. So that's every night of the week for primary and secondary students on different days. And that's where young people can get support with homework, coursework from our tutors. And then also young people who've come regularly can then apply to have a mentor who will work with them one-to-one for an academic year around things like academic support, but also doing things socially and thinking about their future as well. And then we also have a whole area around future planning. So confidence building, thinking about employment. If people want to go to university, we can help with UCAS and university statements. And then we have our holiday programs as well. So we do a big summer carnival program, which is a lot of fun. And then also other themed weeks during the school holidays. We also have our adult learning program. So these are accredited and non-accredited courses in maths, English and ICT for anyone 19 or over in the local community. So they're by our trained tutors, so you can get qualifications in those areas, or you can just brush up on your skills. And then we also have one-to-one literacy support for people who might need a bit more tailored advice and support around their adult learning courses. And then our final programme is our community hub, and there's lots of elements to this. So we have our employment programme. So our trained advisors can offer support with CVs and cover letters, and then also one-to-one individualised support for several weeks to help with job searches. We have our information, advice and guidance support around benefits, housing, education. And again, that's one-to-one with our advisors, and that's got quite high demand. So some of our programmes have waiting lists as well. And then finally, we have our wellbeing support and our numeracy and literacy for young people. So our wellbeing support, we've got our weekly wellbeing clinic, which uses ear acupuncture. And then we also have ongoing projects every few weeks. So things like our women's confidence programme, our gardening group and our reading and conversation groups that people can get involved with as well. So lots going on at the centre. It's a really busy place. We've got a beautiful garden, and there's lots of ways that you might be able to get involved. So as well as signing up for our programmes themselves, we're always looking for volunteers, and we do have job opportunities coming up as well. So if you'd like to volunteer with us, that's open to anyone who's 16 or over with a good level of English and who has time to offer. So one of the great things about volunteering with us is that we all offer you training sessions and personal development support. And you'll be able to come to some of the ClementJames fundraising events. And we also have lots of fun socials for our volunteers as well to get involved with life at the centre. If you are interested, we ask that you are able to commit to one volunteering opportunity a week, and that usually lasts over a couple of terms as well. So at the moment, the main volunteering opportunities where we're looking for people is our one-to-one numeracy and literacy mentor. So that would be working with a young person to help create resources with them, to help support them with either their maths or their English, to help them reach their potential, particularly if they've maybe fallen behind. And that's a great opportunity to get to know a young person, to build a rapport with them, and also you have quite a lot of control over the resources that you create and what you do in those sessions with the support of our team. The next one is our adult learning mentor. So that's working in the adult learning classes to support the tutor. So working with students when they're doing some of the exercises, maybe helping with some of the admin. And then there might also be an opportunity if some of the people in the classes want some more one-to-one support, then you and the tutor can think about how you could help with that. And then finally, we have our academic support tutor role. And this is working with young people, so either with primary students, so 7 to 11, or secondary students 11 to 18. In our weekly homework clubs, we'd ask you to commit to one of those sessions. And that's in the afternoon after school, a really great opportunity to work with groups of young people in the local community to help them plan for their future and achieve everything that they need to achieve. So those are our volunteering opportunities, and it would be fantastic to have, we've got lots of fantastic volunteers already, but it's always great to have more. So we'd really welcome if you went to our website, www.ClementJames.org, you can find lots of information there about how to sign up. And then we also have ongoing job opportunities that come up at the ClementJames Centre. So these really range from part-time roles to full-time roles. They might be in delivery, so working with our service users to deliver the programmes I've talked about. Or we also have roles in operations and head office and admin. For most of the roles, we don't need people with specific qualifications. We're just looking for people who are passionate and committed to what we do, who like solving problems and have a real desire to work in a team, in a supportive environment. Again, we have a great staff team, lots of training, lots of personal development opportunities in the role. So if that's something that's of interest to you, do go to the website. That's www.ClementJames.org. Right at the bottom, there's a button that says join the team. Our current job roles are up there, and you can also sign up for our mailing list so that when new opportunities come up, we can let you know about those. So thank you for giving your time today, and hopefully see some of you either as service users or volunteers or colleagues in the future. Thank you.
Hello everyone, my name is John Holden. I am from the Venture Community Association, and I'm here today to talk about Venture and the services we offer. So Venture Venture Association is a branch of 4 community centers that are located all throughout RBKC, and each one of our centers offers a wide array of services. And we are hoping to get more volunteers and more community members engaged with our centers so that we can offer greater and bigger programs. So our primary center, which is the Venture Center, which has been in the RBKC community for over 60 years, is a center that offers a wide array of programs. So we currently have our Venture Playground, which offers services to children so that they can come in, play, get fed, and things like that, and be in a safe and monitored environment. But then our center also has another wide array of programs, which consist of cookery classes, sewing classes, Zumba, and all those type of things. And we also have our steel pan yard there as well. And that's just one of our centers. We currently have 3 other centers, and they offer similar services to the one that we offer at the Venture Center. And we are essentially just trying to build out our programs and get more people involved. So the volunteers that we are looking for typically, we need people that are going to be open and engaging with the community and operate essentially in our welcome center. And a volunteer for that, all we would need is somebody that's fun, inviting, and that probably wants to sit down and have a cup of tea with somebody. Then we also need cook-based volunteers or food bank volunteers. So at all of our centers, we run food banks as well. So we need people that can help us handle food. And then we offer cookery classes, which we need people that can help cook and do things like that. And then finally, one of our most fun volunteers, I would say, is our playground volunteers that we are looking for. And those essentially are individuals that are just going to hang out with children, engage with children, and just always make sure that the children are having a good time, but are also in a safe, fun environment. That's about all I have to say about Venture, but if anybody has any questions, I'm here to answer. So.
Hello, everyone, and thank you for attending this event. My name is Igor. I'm a community engagement champion with Carers Network. We are a charity supporting unpaid adult carers in Kensington, Chelsea, Westminster, and Hampstead and Fulham. We do carers assessment, we give advice, and we liaise with local authorities on providing support based on the assessment. We're currently looking for volunteers for our Carers Found project. Somebody to go out in the community to do the outreach, talk to people, and explain to them the value and the necessity of registering as unpaid carers. To tell them that they're not alone in caring for their loved ones, for their friends and family. The number of carers have risen over the course of the pandemic, and many of them don't know and don't identify as carers. It's important for us to do this kind of work to explain to them that they're carers in the first place, and what are their rights, and what do they do, what kind of support can be offered. We're here all day, so if anyone is going to drop by to the fair, you're more than welcome to come and talk to us in person, or contact us on the details that are going to be provided on the website in the future. If you have any questions, I'm ready to take them.
Hi everybody, my name is Neve. I'm from Young KNC and I'm the Marketing and Communications Manager. So if you don't know of Young KNC, we are a cross-sector partnership organisation, and we work with youth organisations in Kensington and Chelsea. So what we do is we support them by providing them with fundraising support, common support, capacity building, networking, and all that type of stuff, so that they can provide the best services to under 25s in the borough. We don't actually have any direct contact with young people, but what we're trying to do is build that up through our Young Ambassadors program. So that's the main thing we're here for today, to try and recruit some volunteers and some young people to get involved. So we are looking for young people exclusively, so 14 to 25 is our age group. We are inclusive of SEND, and we'd really like to get a wide range of people to come and join our services. And Young Ambassadors are going to be our main steering group, and they're going to lead the conversation in youth voice. So what we'd ideally like them to do is to sit on our grant panel, tell us what they think youth organisations need in Kensington and Chelsea, how we can fund them, how we can best support them. They will be able to talk to our members and see how our members are finding our services, and also talk to the community and the general public. See how they feel like young people are treated in Kensington and Chelsea, what we can do for them, how we can support them, and what young people would like to see and what young people would like to get involved in. That's our main aim, basically, to try and bring young people into the conversation as much as possible. So our Young Ambassadors is a volunteer position. We will be offering some paid opportunities through grant panels and vouchers and things like that. We'll also offer training opportunities if young people want to improve their public speaking, their copywriting, their fundraising support, anything that they would like to do. They're more than welcome to get in contact with us, and we will provide that as a Young Ambassador. And then I'm also here to kind of get some recruits for our business admin position. So if anybody has any administrative experience or is looking to gain some administrative experience, our business administrative assistant position is open. Sorry for that, everybody. But basically, our business admin position will be looking to support Young KNC in helping with managing records, ensuring that member relations are kept in touch, assisting with our grant panel, and just supporting the business as a general rule of thumb, and making sure that we can provide the best support possible for our members. And yeah, we'd really like as many people to get involved. So I think our website will be available online. And you can get in contact with us that way. And if not, our email address is info@youngknc.org.uk. And you can send any questions, queries, or a CV in if you'd like, and we're more than happy to have a look and have like a nice little chat and see what we can do to support you. But we are really looking for young people in this position and people who have experience in Kensington and Chelsea to try and make sure that the community is as involved as possible, and our voices are heard and shared amongst the people that can change things amongst council, public services, and other voluntary and charity organisations.
Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Amy from Nova Opportunities. Nice to see you. So I'm just going to start by talking a little bit about Nova and then some of the opportunities that we've got available. So if you don't know Nova, we've been based in the local community for almost 40 years. We do a range of different things. So we do two things really. One thing is grassroots support, adult education, employment support, and our family and youth program in the community. And then the other thing we do is we run a series of events, dialogue events about bringing people together to foster greater understanding and empathy with one another. And those events include things like our Human Library and TEDx Ladbroke Grove, and Let's Talk About Race discussions as well, all in a bid to try and challenge prejudice and discrimination. So we're very, very busy, lots of stuff going on and always looking for volunteers. At Nova, we really say that volunteers are like the lifeblood of our organisation. We couldn't do anything without them. And actually about 80% of our staff team started off as a volunteer. So they really do become part of our extended family. At the moment, we're looking for quite a few volunteers at the moment. At Nova, we are looking for classroom assistants for our ESOL classes and for maths, photographers to help capture some of the images and the stories of the impacts that we do in the community, trip leaders to help in our family programme. So that might involve in the summer going to the beach on the coach, or it might involve helping to take families around museums or on the Thames Clipper. So that's all really lovely, fun stuff. We're also looking for a web developer to help maintain our website and people to support on admin and reception as well. Alongside that, as I said before, we also run TEDx Ladbroke Grove in the community, which is all linked to kind of TED Talks and inspiring, providing a platform for voices in the community. We are looking to build up our team for the next year for our TEDx Ladbroke Grove events in 2022. And so we're looking for quite a few roles, particularly from people who have got experience to share and skills to share. So those roles are, we are looking for a head of operations, event producer, artistic director, head of marketing and communications, head of fundraising and partnerships, and someone to support our speakers as well. These are all voluntary roles. They are quite time intensive. So we do need people that have got skills to share and time to spare as well to really help us deliver on that. And if you are interested, then you can go to the Nova website where we've got a page on volunteers and submit an expression of interest there. Or if you are interested, I'm just going to put my email in the chat. So if you have any queries, you can also just reach out to me and I will come straight back to you. So yeah, that's everything from me. If anyone happens to have any questions, I can take some, or if not, enjoy the rest of your day.
My name is Jeltje. I'm the carer for my son who had a psychotic episode, and it shook us all to the bone, the whole family, and we didn't know where to go for support. We got all the medical support, but the psychological support and the personal support was just not there. And then I came upon this organization called Mental Health Carers Association, and it is a peer support group. We're all people who have loved ones we care for with mental health problems. And it has been so invaluable to me that is that the right word? I'm Dutch, you have to forgive me. So I started volunteering, and I've been volunteering with the organization now for more than 10 years, I think, yeah. So, but we are desperately looking for volunteers to help us stay afloat. We are a charity, and nobody is paid for what they're doing. And we are desperate for somebody with organizational skills, like office skills and computer skills. So if you feel you have that to offer, please come and volunteer for us. But if you need support, if you are supporting someone with mental health problems, please be welcome. We meet every third Thursday at Canal Side, near the big Sainsbury's from 6 till 8. And you know, you can find, oh yeah, should I give more information?
Will you please find out that any information is on the website, or is there an email address?
Well, there is an email address, but It's quite new and I keep forgetting it and I didn't bring my paper with me. Just look it up. And so the social council will always be able to refer you. Sorry to be so disorganized, but that's how it is. Thank you very much for listening.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Hi, we're the Advocacy and Participation team as part of the Fibre at Westminster and RBKC. Just wanted to explain a little bit about the role. So we are we're looking for volunteers to work with children who are care experienced. So we work with children from the ages of 0 up until the age of 25. But we're looking for mentors, volunteers and mentors to work with our young people from the ages of 7 to 25. Independent visitors is something that we offer for all kids in care. It's part of the Children's Act, so it's part of the legislation that every local authority has to have some form of mentoring service for kids in care. It's really good because it's a way to get, like, kids in care often are only meeting with, sorry, you can do it further, with statutory, they only have statutory people involved in their life. By statutory, I mean professionals, etc. So they don't really have the natural networks that you would have if you came from a normal family, and I say that with commas. So what we want is different volunteers of all ages, of all genders, sexuality and ethnicities, to work with our cohort of young people. The commitment is you take them out once a month and you do different activities with them, which Debbie can tell you about.
Sure, so some examples of some of the activities you can do with the young people can be quite small, and can also be quite big activities. So it might be something like going to the cafe to have a hot chocolate with the young person, trips to the cinema, to the museum, and maybe some bigger examples like going to the theatre. You'll have a budget of £40 for your outing, so it's completely covered by the local authority. We don't want you to kind of be out of pocket because you're giving your time to the young person. That's so significant and all that we ask for. And it's very much led by the young person, so it is young person focused. So if they've got a particular interest or a hobby that they'd like to get into or to develop further, we would want you to kind of encourage that for the young person and to kind of be the main kind of lead for the actual outing.
But also we would want you to just to jump in a little bit, because sometimes young people don't necessarily want to try new things. So we would like you to kind of push them a little bit to try and explore new things, because sometimes young people will sit within their comfort zone. So feel free to be creative with, you know, the young person's agreement. And sometimes they're going to need a little bit of convincing and a little bit of a push, which we're here to do to support you with that. But we want you to bring all your talents, all your skills, all your knowledge and share it with the young person. Sorry, Deb.
That's okay. And you will be supported in the role as well. So you will have an IB coordinator who you can be in contact with regularly to talk about the actual visits that you do with your young person. We can talk to you about potential ideas, and you can kind of offload to us in terms of how the role is going. We need to kind of have an understanding about how the relationship is developing over time and see and understand what's going on for that young person. And we can also share information with you as well in terms of any significant changes that might happen in their kind of life and network, just so to kind of give you a bit of a heads up in terms of what might happen on an outing. And just to also add that your role is very, very significant, because it is very different to that of the network that's already existing around the young person, because they have a lot of professionals involved in their life, from social workers, health professionals, also foster carers. And the difference with your role is that it's voluntary, so you're not paid to be there, you're there because you want to be there. And that often is really empowering for the young person, and they think, wow, someone really wants to kind of invest in me and spend time in getting to know me. So please come with your talents, as Lorraine said, to kind of share and give a young person in care new experiences, a stable, positive relationship, and then a good role model.
Okay. And then some of the personal attributes that some of the personal attributes that we're looking for from volunteers is someone who's committed, someone who's resilient and who has consistency. These are really important for this mentoring. So we do ask for a commitment of 2 years. You see them for once a month, beg your pardon, a minimum of once a month. You can keep in contact with them via WhatsApp during the times that you're not seeing them. That's completely up to you, but that's what we would expect. So please, I'm still be flicking through, but I'm holding up. I don't know if it shows on the camera.
It might not show.
It's a booklet. We can send it out, which has got all the information in regards to the recruitment process, what we're looking for, how to apply. If you've got any questions, any further questions, I will give you our email address. It is Advocacy and Participation @rbkc.gov.uk. So as this is we're by borough, so RBKC and Westminster are a by borough service. So if you apply for the role, you could either end up being a volunteer in Westminster or RBKC, whatever works out for whatever you choose or whatever works out best for each young person. And how we match you is that we ask the volunteer to complete a profile, the young person completes a profile, and then we are able to match you and see which young person would be good for you, which young person would suit you.
And we do take into consideration several different factors. So in terms of common interests, personality, if the young person has an idea about a sector that they'd like to go into in the future, these are some of the factors that we take into consideration so that we can make a good match kind of pairing between the two of you. So it's not just the first volunteer we have waiting, the first young person that we have waiting. There is a bespoke kind of thought process around it to make sure that you kind of both hit the ground running. And you'll always be supported by the IB coordinator as well, who's there to offer advice, tips, and just to be a listening ear in terms of your overall volunteering experience.
So I'll give you an example of good matches, a successful match. We had a care leaver. Care leaver is someone who's 18, who was in care, but is now 18 plus. So this particular young person finished university, qualified, got a first in law, did the LPC, and wasn't able to get a job because some of the things that our young people who are care experienced struggle with sometimes is not necessarily the academics, because they do really well, but it's the communication element of it, the nuances of being able to be confident and to have the self-esteem to apply for certain roles actually, and going into certain different environments. So this young person wanted to be a solicitor, so we were able to find a match of an independent visitor who we matched him with, who works for a really prestigious law firm in central London. And 6 months later, or 8 months, beg your pardon, 8 months later, he's now managed to get himself an internship within actually this local authority, within the borough. So stuff like that, those are really successful stories, building young people's self-esteem. We've got another young person who's really shy, really reserved, and he lives outside of the borough, and we matched him up with another independent visitor, and now that's just really built his confidence, and you can see the difference. So it's about the soft skills, it's about building their self-esteem, it's about making them be exposed to, like, some of you will be accountants, some of you will be doctors, solicitors, and some of you will do all different types of things, you're entrepreneurs, etc. It's about opening up the young people's minds to see that there is more outside of just social services and their little small world. That's what it is about. So if you're interested, I know that the email address is on there. Please do get in contact with us. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, everyone.
Take care.
Bye.
Hi, my name is Sona. I'm the Maternity Champions Manager for Kensington and Chelsea through the borough. So I guess to start with, what is Maternity Champions? We're a project that's tied to the Community Champions project. We find local people who want to support their local community and train them to become maternity champions, which means you're able to talk to people, give mothers in particular, new parents and their babies, the support that they might need in the first year of the baby's life, which, as many people will know, is a very difficult time from pregnancy until the first year. So the volunteers, they get to talk to people, signpost, give breastfeeding support, anything that a mum might need help with is available through Maternity Champions. And if we can't do it, our champions will help you find somewhere else to go where you can get that help, basically. So we're the volunteers that come in, we don't necessarily expect everybody to know everybody about childcare already. We provide training for that. So I don't know if you guys know the NCT, but the National Childbirth Trust. So we run an accredited training through the NCT where people will get a really great course for free that you can attend. And you get a great certificate out of that people often, well, they get the experience with us. They do a couple of years of volunteering or however long, and then they go into working in childcare or apply to become a midwife or anything like that. So it's a really great first place to start if you're looking to get into working with babies and children. So the course that we offer is just one of the many parts of the training. I'll often tell our volunteers, hey, there's a mental health first aid course, or there's a course that has to do with dental health, or anything that you can think of. We make sure that our volunteers have these opportunities available to them, because we get so much from our volunteers and they're so supportive and so wonderful and they're so important to our community that we make sure that you know, the volunteers get a lot out of it as well. So if you're based in Kensington and Chelsea, we have 5 different locations throughout the borough. So mainly 3 in North Ken and 2 in Chelsea. So if you're nearby, yeah, we would love to meet you and give some more information about what we do.
Hello, everybody. I'm sorry that I can't be there in person with you today at the fair, but here I am on Zoom. So my name is Tracy Lazarus, and I am the tour and volunteer coordinator at Leighton House and Sambourne House. I don't know if anyone is familiar with the museums. They are run and managed by the Royal Borough of Kensington and Chelsea, so by the council, and they are both just off High Street Kensington. So Sambourne House is at 18 Stafford Terrace, about 5 minutes from the town hall where you are now, and Leighton House is in Melbury Road, just past the Design Museum. So both houses are Victorian houses which have had artist residents. So Leighton House was owned by Lord Frederick Leighton, and he was a Victorian prominent painter who was president of the Royal Academy. You might be familiar with some of his works. Flaming June is a very important one that he did. And Sambourne House was lived in by Linley Sambourne and his family, so quite a different property, a terraced house. And he was a cartoonist for Punch magazine for 40 years and an illustrator of various books, including The Water Babies. So both houses at the moment are closed to the public as we are undergoing substantial building works, especially at Leighton House. We are putting in a new cafe, a new gallery downstairs in the basement, a new shop, a new visitor entrance, and also making Leighton House fully accessible for wheelchair users, so that's really good news. Sambourne House unfortunately still won't be accessible for wheelchair users as due to the nature of the property, but we are also doing some improvements over there too to the building. So we are hoping to open in spring next year, 2022, and when we reopen we are looking forward to have lots of new volunteers with us. We would like to have mainly visitor assistant volunteers, so people who come into the house when visitors enter the house, they are there to greet the visitors and answer any questions they might have, and generally just be around. So what we're looking for is for both houses to have people doing either a morning or an afternoon shift in either Sambourne House or Leighton House. We are asking visitors to be able to know about both houses, because we'd like a sort of very flexible sort of volunteer who can work over either houses. So it really is a great opportunity for people who maybe are interested in Victorian art or want to learn about it. You don't have to be an expert at all. We've had lots of different sorts of volunteers. Some have been students who are studying art history, some are local residents who just want to come and meet new people and do something a bit different, learn something about their local community and the cultural things that are on offer, and some retired people. So really it's open to everybody. We're not saying you have to know about our history at all. So do come and join us. We'd love to hear from you. We will be doing some induction and training next year. So when we know our opening date, before that, we will get in touch with any potential volunteers and let you know when you can come over, and we will give you tours of both houses. There's lots of information on our website, on YouTube, Instagram. So do follow us on social media, have a look at the houses because they really are fascinating. Leighton House also has a really amazing Arab hall. So Leighton did travel a lot around the Middle East. So that's another thread that we do a lot of learning workshops about, and people love to come and visit just to see that part of the house. So we do a lot of workshops on calligraphy, Islamic art. So we are also looking later on for volunteers who will help us sort of welcome visitors to the new houses, but also to help with the workshops that I mentioned, either for schools during the week and also for families on the weekends. We also will be looking for conservation volunteers. So as you can imagine, we have lots and lots of objects in both houses that really need a lot of care and attention. So if you are interested in learning about conservation and how that works, especially at Sambourne, I would say we have a huge number of objects. It would be great to hear from you. And also people who are interested in research, because we're always looking to get more information about all the artists to do with both houses. We also will be doing tours. So we're looking to have volunteers who might be interested in becoming tour guides, talking about various paintings or objects in the house, maybe a 10-minute lunchtime talk or a slightly longer one. At the moment, I have 2 volunteers who take groups around what we call the Holland Park Circle, which are on at the moment, actually. If anyone is interested, they're on a Thursday and a Sunday at 11 AM, and you can sign up via our website. And our 2 volunteers do an amazing job of taking people round the block. So it's an outside tour round Leighton House of all the different Victorian artists who lived in the area. That story hasn't really been told up until now. So when we reopen our new reception area, it will give us lots more information about the Holland Park Circle. So volunteers will get lots of training and induction, as I mentioned, plus 10% off in our shop, our new shop and cafe that we'll have at Leighton House. Plus we also organise quite a few sort of talks and events at Leighton House, so they'll be able to come to some of those. And I sometimes organise tours of other museums. Before lockdown, we went to visit Kensington Palace and we had a tour around there, so volunteers really enjoyed that. So yeah, so we do a sort of program of events of volunteers. So I really hope that we can get some of you interested in coming along. If you are interested, I would say to email me, and I'm hoping that my details will be on the screen, or that somehow the volunteering job fair will be able to pass that on to anybody. Okay, thanks very much, and I hope that's okay.
Hi, so we're Chelsea Methodist Church. We are on the King's Road in the heart of Chelsea, next to Chelsea Town Hall. We've been there since 1903, supporting homeless and vulnerable adults. So that's basically adults that are either street homeless or they're in temporary accommodation and experiencing financial hardship or poverty. A lot of what we do is providing food. So we cook meals. We're currently serving 240 meals a week to homeless and vulnerable adults in our building. So they come and they have a communal meal at lunchtime. There's also the option to take away their meal, which we were doing throughout the lockdown, but it's now gone back to doing a sit-down meal, which is really important for helping people with loneliness and isolation. We provide food parcels to people that are in need, showers and toilets, clothing. So we collect clothing donations, sort through the clothes and give those to people who need them. So it could be winter coats, boots and shoes are really important, especially this is for like rough sleepers who need to walk around all day long in the cold and possibly in the rain. Thermals and things like t-shirts, boxer shorts are one of our most in-demand items. So all this needs to be sourced and sorted, so we need volunteers for that. We also offer a laundry service, which is really important for people who don't have access to their own washing machines. This is all free. We're the only one in our area, the only service that's offering this free to people. So that is washing towels from our showers and also clothing for people that are on the streets. We have a post service, which is basically for people who don't have their own secure address, they can use our address. So we have an amazing volunteer at the moment who sorts through the post. It's hundreds of people's posts every week. So that needs to be managed and logged, and people sign for their post so it's all secure. And it's really important for moving on from the streets to be able to receive documentation that helps people to do that. And we also work on the World's End estate in Chelsea. We've been providing meals there through the lockdown period. And we are running a cafe at the Chelsea Theatre as well. So that's a new project we're really excited about. Yeah, how long have I been?
And I think what I want to say is that we couldn't do it without the support of our volunteers. I mean, they really have a passion for what we do. And most of our volunteers come from our local community, so they actually see firsthand the impact of what they do, sorting clothes and chopping hundreds of carrots at a time sometimes. It's quite nice to be able to see that develop into the meal, and then for our volunteers to see firsthand how they can make such a positive impact in the lives of others. We're a small staff team and we're a small growing volunteer team, but I think the ethos at Chelsea is about community, and that comes through really strongly. And lots of our volunteers say to me they feel like it's family when they come there. They get to know our guests get to know them, and I think it really strengthens our community to have volunteers come in and support us with those services, and we certainly couldn't do it without them. We are always in need of volunteers, and we welcome anyone to join, contact us. We have lots of opportunities, whether that's prepping and cooking vegetables and ingredients for meals, or whether you just want to come in and help serve at lunchtime. Whatever time you've got, we can kind of work with you. And we have things like somebody to run the tea and coffees in the morning to welcome our guests, because you can imagine if you are sleeping rough or street homeless, it's you know, a welcome face and a welcome cup of tea or coffee, a nice hot drink and a cheerful greeting, you know, goes a long way to making that day a bit more bearable. So yeah, our volunteers are golden. We really appreciate what they do, and we welcome anyone who wants to volunteer with us. Please get in contact with us. I'm Julie Roberts. I'm the volunteer coordinator.
Do you want me to leave any contact details, or?
Yeah, our the volunteer team number is 07483 941 320, and that comes directly to me, or you can email us at volunteerteam, all one word, at fulhamandchelsea.org.uk, and I look forward to hearing from you.
.org.uk. Just pop on screen there for everyone.
That's brilliant. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Hi everybody, my name's Jenny Murphy. I'm the Volunteer Development Officer at Fulham Palace Trust. Thank you all for coming along today. It's really nice to kind of meet people. I'm really looking forward to some of your questions and answers about Fulham Palace. So just to explain a little bit about the Palace, of those of you who've not heard of us before, we are a heritage site near Putney Bridge Station. So we're located near the Underground. We are just a short walk from the Thames side, and we've got about 1,300 years worth of history. And most of that is wrapped around the Bishops of London, who had the palace as their home for many, many years. Current bishop doesn't live there, but she has her own house, which I'm sure is absolutely lovely. And our site seeks to understand that kind of rich layers of history that we have. We do also have some archaeological digs that happen on site. So it's not just the bishops, we have some people before that and some Roman history as well. But we also have quite a lot of botanical samples. And one of the really great things about the bishops, and so for those of you who don't know who the Bishops of London are, the Bishops of London were key strategic and political players in their own time. So we have somebody who assisted Mary I, Bishop Bonner, with a lot of her interesting, as we say, kind of dealings with Protestants. We have Bishop Compton, who went to the Americas and brought back lots and lots of samples and botanic samples to the UK. And we also have the bishop who supported Catherine of Aragon in her trials against divorce trials against Henry VIII. But we're not just about history. We've got archaeology volunteers, we have garden volunteering, photography volunteering. We also have people who help out in our finance teams. We've got about 250 volunteers. And that means we have a big community of volunteers who come together for socials and trips across the palace, across London and elsewhere. And we just have a kind of an abundance of different roles. The way that we recruit is a bit special. So wherever possible, don't necessarily have yet, we encourage you to get in touch with us so that we can see and try and place you with the right person and for the right volunteer role. Other things we might recruit for a bit more seasonally, so things like garden volunteers, we probably tend to recruit. So we're planning to recruit in the new year when things are a bit warmer for garden volunteers. But for other roles, we recruit all year round. So our front of house roles are currently open, and we always love to have new people welcoming visitors. And yeah, we just have a lot of different kind of little pockets of volunteering across the site. So I very much encourage anyone to get in touch if they've got any questions. Our email address is volunteer@fulhampalace.org, and you can get in touch with us. Oh, I think that's I don't know if that's a timer for me or if that's just my phone making an announcement, but thank you very much everybody for listening. And yeah, if you've got any questions, I'd be happy to answer them.
Hi, my name is Marcia, and I am the project manager for the Community Champions in Chelsea on the South Kensington side. And just to give you a little bit of background of the Community Champions, we're a tri-borough project, and that's in Hammersmith and Fulham, Westminster, and Kensington and Chelsea. And I work in Chelsea, so I'm south of the borough. And some of the things that, each, project is a little bit different, because what we do is we run well-being activities and public health campaigns. and depending on what community you're based in, kind of gears you towards what type of activities you run. So for example, what I do, like I'll give you kind of a typical week. We help out at food banks. We run a baby massage class at a community center on one of the estates. We do a chair exercise class for older people, and that's a hybrid class, so it's live, and we have it on Zoom at the same time. And we help with COVID vaccination sites. So that's one of our huge public health campaigns at the minute is helping with the vaccination hubs. And we offer all sorts of training, which is brilliant. So last year we offered understanding health improvements, birth and beyond training with the Maternity Champions, vaccinator training, chair exercise training. So really the kind of volunteers we're looking for are people who want to help the community, signpost them to different organizations that they might need help in. I mean, it can be anything from emergency, food fund to help with debt. Yeah, so those are the different sorts of things that we help with.
Hello, my name is Anna. I'm from Westway Community Transport. As the name suggests, we provide transport. It's my colleague Zach.
I'm Zach, as like Hannah introduced. I'm the Marketing Communications Officer from Westway Community Transport.
We do transport for community groups in minibuses, and we also do transport for individuals. Anybody who has problem accessing public transport due to age or disability, we have a range of solutions for them. At the moment, we're also recruiting for an office job at the position of transport coordinator. It's a very exciting role. No day is the same as the day before. You will be managing drivers, putting jobs on the system, allocating drivers to the jobs, and just assisting with the general admin. We do not have specific requirements. We would prefer if you had the PCO license. That's a license to drive minicabs, but you don't have to. It's not a requirement. And maybe Zach can tell you how to get hold of the details.
Yeah, so the details of which you can find on our website under sort of the Get Involved tab, where we sort of gives details on both sort of volunteer opportunities and on the actual job post for transport coordinator. And you can find those, and you can always, if you're a little bit lost, always fill in a contact form on our website, and we'll get back to you and help you with any issues related to that.
That job is basically as soon as possible, so do send your applications in because we're very keen to hear from people. We also have opportunities to offer free training to acquire a professional license, a PCV license. That means that you could become a minibus driver or a London bus driver for free, subject to some criteria being met. One of them is a geographical criteria. You have to have been resident in the old parish of Kensington, that's the area below the Harrow Road and above the Fulham Road, and also be either unemployed or on low income. So if we go through these steps to check that you're eligible, you will get full training, fully paid for, and we would also assist you with putting together a CV and applying for jobs. And sometimes people end up working for us as well. Do you want to say out to you?
Yeah, so again, that opportunity can sort of be found under our training tab on our website. It's literally called the Drive Time Project, so there's more details there. Again, if there's any issues, you can just fill in a contact form on our website. We can more than happily help. And yeah, about training, we don't really have a strict schedule for how long it takes to do that training. It's very much we do at your pace. We want you to do it well and become sort of confident and proficient in sort of both the theory side and the actual driving side. And we have about 10 plus, well, our driving instructor essentially has plenty of years of experience. He's very good in terms of
Very patient.
Yeah, very very patient, and gives he has pretty much very little he doesn't know in terms of driving, and so you're very much in good hands in terms of getting the training you would like.
And obviously, being a transport organization, we're always looking for volunteer drivers. Sometimes these opportunities for volunteer drivers can turn into paid employment, but I can't promise this at all. But it's good to be a volunteer for yourself, and also it's a good skill to have put on your CV. We have what we can say is that people who volunteer for us tend to stick with us for a very long time, because the roles are very flexible. We have people who drive just a couple of hours a week, and we have people who drive for us several days a week. There are people who prefer to, maybe I should do a step back and actually say who the volunteer driving is for. It's for our individual transport services. So you will be driving people who are either elderly or having some level of disability, and you will be driving them to hospital appointments, GP appointments, leisure centers as well, or health and wellbeing activities. Basically, it's just to allow people to continue to be independent in their own homes for as long as possible. And some people, we found that they have kind of grown fond of some users, so they say, oh, I'm happy to drive this person every day that they need it, or on a specific day of the week. So we witnessed lots of individual relationships being formed because of this volunteering, and it's definitely a rewarding experience because of for a start you see the results of what you're doing straight away, because you're taking someone who's generally housebound from A to B, and they're very thankful, and you feel a sense of achievement straight away. And also it's a role that evolves depending on the external circumstances. For instance, during lockdown, we weren't able to take people anywhere because obviously everybody was locked in and places were shut. But we turned it around and started working with food banks. So our volunteers were very busy still, if they still wanted to drive, obviously. They were busy delivering food parcels to people that were shielding, or to people who had fallen below the poverty line. So it's definitely a role that offers a lot of personal satisfaction and sense of well-being and being useful to society in general. Most people want to volunteer because they want to give something back, and they like to volunteer for us precisely because we offer this incredible flexibility in terms of times. You can basically drive whenever you want, and you can drive your car and you will be reimbursed for petrol. There's a fixed mileage rate. Or if you don't have a car, you can drive one of our own vehicles, and you'd obviously receive all the training that's needed to do this job. So that's us. And if you have any questions, I'm happy to answer. Did you want to add anything?
No, you pretty much said it all.
Thank you both so much.
Hi, my name is Pam Bardwell, and I'm the Booking, Food Bank and Volunteer Manager at Dalgarno Trust. Now, Dalgarno Trust is the community centre serving North Kensington. We work with the local community, providing a range of activities, projects and services that promote health, well-being and inclusion for both young and the not so young. Dalgarno has been in the area since the 1990s. There was actually a presence in the 1930s, but we're really keen to provide opportunities for people to volunteer at the centre. And in particularly, we are looking for people in our food bank because it's a really big project at the moment. Before the pandemic, we'll probably see about 50 people. We're now reaching 160. It's a very demanding role, but we can provide people to come in the morning, afternoon, or in the early evening. So if you are interested in volunteering, you can go to our website, which is www.dalgarnotrust.org, and you'll find a bit more about what we do. Hopefully, we will see people soon. And thank you very much.
My name is Titus Hughes. I am the Finance and Business Development Manager at CTRC Community Interest Company. That stands for Community Training and Respite Care. And what we do is we empower people to remain in the community as long as possible by providing them support for them to maintain their independence. We've been in operation for about 10 years now. And our ethos is to help people remain in the community for as long as possible and put off the need for long stay residential care outside of their community.
Yes, so my name is Philip Kane. I was born and brought up in Zimbabwe and have been living in RBKC for over 30 years. I started work as a telecom engineer and came to the UK to study computing and IT in the 1980s. I'm also a qualified electrician. In Africa, we never threw anything away and repaired and/or repurposed everything. During my time in Africa, I also ran a successful small business with a colleague, repairing everything from TVs to toasters. With regard to electrical and electronic items, there is no longer a facility in RBKC to take such waste, with the nearest being on the Thames and Wandsworth at Smuggler's Way. And so most of it is just dumped in bins or on the streets and often goes to landfill, an environmental disaster. Furthermore, the majority of charity shops do not resell second-hand electrical goods because they are not certified safe and fit for purpose. I'm proposing to set up a community workshop. So this, by the way, is a synopsis of my original bid. So I have now set up a community workshop where electrical and electronic goods can be PAT tested, portable appliance testing, for those that have not heard of it before, which is what companies have to get done every year. And everything that plugs in has to be tested and certified safe. This would enable such goods, once tested and labelled, to be resold in charity shops, for example. The project will also accept drop-in repair visits from residents. I plan to expand the workshop remit to provide repairs for wheelchairs and other disability aids, and also computers, laptops, printers, games consoles, mobile phones and tablets, etc. I also plan to start a computer/tech club as part of this initiative, which could be available after hours, for example. So charities should thus be able to resell these goods, and people with disabilities can get cheap or free repairs, a much more sustainable model. Volunteers and members will also be able to learn about new things or be sent on PAT testing and other relevant training courses to upgrade their existing skills. I plan to try and make the project self-sustaining to some extent by charging a nominal fee for testing items that have been repaired. Delivering the project thus combines sustainability, skills, community involvement and training. Initially, I intend to encourage retired and unemployed technicians and engineers, such as electricians, to volunteer to repair and test the goods, giving them a renewed sense of purpose and self-worth and reducing isolation. Going forward, I plan to involve interested young people too, as a stepping stone to a tech apprenticeship or degree perhaps. Integral to the project, I also wish to set up an electronic waste depot and to encourage the wider community to bring their unwanted and or faulty goods to donate or have repaired rather than just dumping them. Thank you very much for your time.
My name is Aislinn. I am the Regional Face-to-Face Engagement Manager for Oxfam in London. Today we're hiring for face-to-face fundraisers for our private site, high street and telemarketing teams. Positions start at £11.50 an hour and go all the way up to £14.50, and that's just at the fundraiser level. There are, of course, opportunities to progress within that as well. We have team leader positions available, senior team leader, all the way up to sort of management level as well. And what the job would entail is speaking to people, members of the British public, engaging them about Oxfam's work, so projects regarding clean water, women's rights, emergency response, and asking them to give a small monthly donation via direct debit. Yeah, we have full-time positions available, we have part-time positions available, and we're looking for people of all sort of backgrounds. We are more than willing to train. You don't need to have previous experience to do this. You just need to have enthusiasm and genuine passion for the work that we do.
Thank you. Go. Is any specific people should write to you if they're interested, or?
Oh yes, in terms of who to get in contact with, you can get in contact with myself. I am at astanding1@oxfam.org.uk. So that's A, standing, like the verb, 1, the number, at oxfam.org.uk. Yeah, that would be the best way to get in touch with us, and I would reply very promptly.
Hi, good afternoon. My name is Melinda. I'm from Community Fibre, and today I wanted to talk about our Digital Ambassadors Programme. For those that don't know, Community Fibre is a brand new a fibre optic broadband provider that's rolling out their broadband all across Kensington and Chelsea. And as part of this effort to break the digital divide, we'd like to work with local volunteers that are confident with their digital skills. We would give you some training for your Unleashed on the Community, and you'd work in libraries and local community spaces. This is where you'd be able to support other people, other residents, to improve their digital skills, whether it's helping them to send an email on their smartphone, learning how to use their tablet a bit more efficiently, those kind of tasks that we'll be doing. Yeah, we'd be really, really keen to get any people that are really interested to register. We've actually got a webinar this Wednesday. You'll be able to see that information shortly at the end. But yeah, if you can register for your space on Eventbrite to learn more about our programme, we'll be more than happy to have you on board so we can support as many residents as possible to become more digitally engaged.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Orala. I work for a charity called Kulan Somali organization, and it's a registered charity, and they are based in 3 boroughs, so Kensington and Chelsea, Westminster and Newham. And Kulan Somali organization offers different services and advice to the BAME community, in particular the Somali and Baronese community. So yeah, we offer different advice and services to different groups, such as adults, older people, the elderly, young people, families with children, and people that are disabled. The type of different services and advice we offer is, for example, debt and advice, immigration, housing, health and well-being, workshops and activities, art and culture activities, befriending services. We do mentoring services as well, and we also do referrals to external services. So yeah, we are welcoming for anybody who's got to volunteer, and the volunteering post that we're looking for currently is for people that are social media activists, to kind of maintain and upload what's happening on the our social media platforms. We're looking for fundraisers, fundraising, and also we're looking for anyone who's interested to kind of uptake on like research work for the community. Yeah, so
is there any way they should write to, or?
Yeah, so if you're interested, you can contact us on info@kulanksl.org.
Nowadays, life online is life, basically. There's so many activities that we can do online, but each of these brings some potential risk. So that means it's now possible to get into trouble online in many ways, that were not possible previously. So it's no longer a geeky subject, because the technical threats still exist. You have to be careful how you set up your computer, but the social problems and the emotional problems and the isolation that some people feel is at least as big a problem, and probably in time to come will be more so. So I came to this area of work through my son's time at school, where I found out all the things that were going on from the safeguarding head who I've worked with at And nowadays we're finding that the statistics and the research is beginning to mature. And for example, the latest information was about girls on Instagram, which you may be aware of, at age 13, and it's quite precise. They begin to be tending towards depression if they're using Instagram. So very specific information. So that's what we're working in that area. There's other things that can happen. You can be recruited for crime, of course. You could be radicalized. And we're heading towards, if the tech chiefs are right, we're heading towards the metaverse, which is like an all-immersive situation. Therefore, problems will be even worse. So who needs help? Well, vulnerable people. They could be vulnerable because they're young, they're old, they're disadvantaged by income or their mental capacity or their language skills, or they don't know the way around the United Kingdom. So when we talk about who can solve this problem, it's not us and it's not the experts. We have to put the knowledge into the minds of the ones who really can. For example, in a family, that's mum, because mum can look after the grandparents and the older generation as well as the younger generation. In the case of other vulnerable groups, then it may be carers and workers in the community, quite often volunteers. If we can put that information in their minds so that they can pass it on, then we'll start to solve the problem. So what could a startup do to help this situation? A website is the sort of thing that somebody like me would think of, being a technologist, but there's already dozens of websites, and there's good information, but there's just a ton of it. So as a small non-profit, we're not going to compete with that, but we can do work in the community, and that's where the seed of an organization that we've started can be helped by volunteers, because we need people to help us get the content, because it's a massive job distilling, trying to filter out all the stuff that's not really interesting and get the best of it. We also need a certain amount of copy written, as we call it in the trade, which is simplifying material if it's too complicated, and also our own promotional material. And we likewise, for people that are more interested in talking to people, then there's a big job of what they call onboarding. That's the jargon, where we would make a cold call, we'd set up an appointment, and then you'd come along and explain and set up a partnership with that organization. Now, obviously, we would come along with you to begin with to make sure you're comfortable with that. So there's a wide variety of work, and much of it, I think it's good if the work that you do can benefit you as well as a life skill. Much of the work that we do, it aligns very closely to general business. It's the same kind of skills that will serve you well if you're working for a company. I'm a technologist, and my chairman is a marketeer. He's dealt with brands that you will know in the household, where they spend a lot of money on advertising. So we feel we can help you to develop those skills. And that's about it. The advantage of being small, and I'll be quite plain, we are very small, is that all the decisions are much nearer to you. So you can have an input that you won't have if you're working for a gigantic company. And we also are very interested to hear what you have to say, because at the moment, we've just got 2 white guys on the board. We did have a Bangladeshi man, but we are a monoculture to some degree, and we need to know what other people are thinking. So we are really interested in opinions from all diverse areas of the community. And that's it.
Hi, I'm Geraldine, and I'm a very proud volunteer with North Kensington Community Energy, which is a group that came into being 3 years ago, I think, based on inspiring work from what was originally Repowering Brixton and then became Repowering London. And Repowering Brixton had raised money by asking people to buy shares down in South London to put solar panels on the top of 3 high-rise council flats, with the idea of helping provide clean and cheaper energy. The electricity created there could not actually fund the bills of the flats, because Repowering Brixton wasn't the supplier, but they supplied the electricity for all the communal stocks. And the shares were sold, trying to be as inclusive as possible, to locals on the estate for £50. Other people, I can't remember, some I think it's 250, 500. And that paid for the panels. Panels then generated the electricity, which powered the communal areas. The surplus was sold to the grid, and that provided a 3% return to the shareholders over the length of the project. Also created a community fund. Now, forgive me, I didn't prepare this. I cannot remember the sum, but it was a goodly number of thousands of pounds, which was to be spent by the community on what they felt were necessary. And what did it for me, I happened to meet the person who'd been involved in this, was invited down to a launch, and we went on the roofs, which was very exciting. And then we went to Community Hall where the launch happened. The MP was there, those people spoke, but there were 2 teenage kids from that estate to talk to me with pride, ownership and self-esteem about the renewable training they've done. I'm a retired secondary teacher, and I know just how vital this sort of engagement is. So I was blown. They came and talked in KNC at the time at the Environmental Roundtable, but nothing happened. And then 3 years ago, a lovely person who works on the climate change team who got in touch with me and said it's happening. So I was over the moon. I was very happy. I'm not wealthy and I'd never bought shares before. I'm a retired school teacher and I do some translating and interpreting. I happen to have done quite a whack and have 300, 400, I think. And I bought 4 £100 Christmas deal shares, one for myself, one for all my nieces and nephews to be jointly owned, one for all my old school friends, and one for my goddaughter. And it felt like the best Christmas present I had ever bought. And then one of my old school friends had a little message that I didn't get that came on the community site that said, I thought you're doing really well. And we'd had people flying, and I thought, awesome. And it just said, press this thing. And then I thought, how did they get on our site? I was a bit defensive. And then 2 days later, my email, this friend who's in Australia said, Jeremy, I've sent you £250, buy a share in your name and run it for me. And it was Monzo, so I got elevated to online banking as well. But we've been going 3 years. The first project we did was putting solar panels on the Dalgarno Community Centre in the north and 2 primary schools, Avonmore and Thomas Jones. And that was 2018. I think the total sum we had to raise was 84,000. It really was tough to do it. We got lumps here and there, and we got bits of support or injections, but we pushed and pushed, we leafleted, and it didn't look like we were going to do it by the deadline. Then we didn't extend for a month, and we just sort of snuck in. And I thought, but there are people who can do this here. What's not working? Last year, 2019 to 20, we identified a Westway Leisure Centre were given us support, thought it was great, and they decided to go solar. And they were the first UK leisure centre to go solar. So very proudly, last year we did the feasibility. We had a fund where we could pay for the panels to get on before there was something cutting at the end of March last year. I should remember. We wanted the feed-in tariff. That's right. And then last year, of course, was COVID. And so that blocked a lot of our normal routes for promoting and flyering. But we did a photo shoot on the panels last September. And then I think we were going to launch, I can't remember now, October, November, to finish January. And something was shifted because despite the lack of being publicly out there and leafleting, we suddenly got a load more volunteers in. We've been dribbling on with about 3 diehards turning up and trying. They came, we had loads of people with IT savvy, we did all sorts of things, but it just leapt sort of energetically on its own, and we made it easily by the deadline. Currently, our next one is the Tabernacle in Powers Square. The feasibility's been done. The share off is not quite open yet, but will be soon, so if you're interested, watch out. We've also now identified our criteria list for identifying roofs across the borough, because you think, well, yeah, I want one there, but it's got to meet certain criteria. And we're building up a list because probably our next project we'll do several at a time just to keep the outgoing costs there. But I just love it. You know, you're encouraging people to engage. Obviously, not everyone can. Not everyone can afford to buy, but that doesn't matter. You can volunteer, and you can become a cooperative member with us just for £1, and then you've got the same voting rights as someone who might own a wallet. So that's pretty reasonable. We have a volunteers group, which I've been really happy to be a member of, and we meet fortnightly on Tuesdays. We have one this week, so the next one will be the 30th between 6:30 and 8 PM, online at the moment. And our recent mission has been finalising our planification for our event we're doing next week at the Dalgarno Trust between 1 and 4, a Greener Living Day event. And we did one of these just before lockdown at the hub by Ladbroke Grove, and we had activities like peddle your own smoothie, growing plants, this, that and the other. And we also had a range of organisations who all did presentations upstairs, including the Deputy Ambassador Finley Cragger, who did a banging speech on their 97% renewables and stuff. And people enjoyed it. So this one's next week, just 4 hours again. We'll see how it goes. But we invite you all, and we invite you all to volunteer with us. If you don't mind who or what you are in any category, we want people to feel that they can control their own energy, they can contribute locally and instantly to green, and they can benefit from it. Thank you.
Hi everybody, my name's Amy and I'm from Family Friends. Oh, you can't see that, there we go. Thank you very much for listening, whoever you are out there. I'm going to tell you about our volunteer opportunities and a bit about us. So we are Family Friends and we work with families living in West London and support them through our wonderful volunteer befrienders. We were set up in 1993 by a lady who worked for Bernardo's, who identified that if families were a bit better supported in whatever way that might be, that could be a really good way to prevent them from entering into the care system. So we're still here today supporting families, and we work with lots of different types of families. Anybody who thinks they'll benefit from our support, we are very happy to offer them a volunteer befriender. And our motto is helping families to help themselves. So it's all about volunteers helping to build people's confidence, parents' confidence, confidence in their relationship with each other, and really empowering them to kind of make the best that they possibly can be. So we have 2 roles available. The first role is our family befriender. So this is a volunteer who works with a family, they're matched with a family, and it could be lots of one-to-one parent befriending. It could be that the focus is very much on the parent, but also parenting is really, really tough, and I think it's great for a volunteer to be able to offer whole family support. So whatever the needs are, that's what our parent befriending will do. And what you might do in this role, so we ask you to meet with your family or parent for once a week or once every fortnight for 1 to 2 hours. We're quite flexible, and we like you to meet for at least maybe a couple of times a month, but we're very open, whatever works for you and what works for the family. And the kind of things that you might be doing, it could be very much emotional support, so offering a listening ear, and helping people work through their problems, and just building that trust of relationship and showing what a positive relationship can be like, to very practical things like finding things for the children to do on school holidays, or filling out a form that they, for new housing or things like that. So just building confidence and empowering and having that trusting relationship, which we think is kind of underestimated, the power of their voice being heard. We think that's a really powerful thing. So that's our kind of main role in a nutshell. So we also have our big buddy role. So this role is for young volunteers aged 18 to 30 to work with young people aged 10 to 18. So the idea is young people inspiring other young people, being a positive role model. Very similar, it's still befriending, and this could be things like trying fun activities together that your local community might have to offer. Lots of our young people come from quite big families, maybe with single parents, so allowing young people to have that one-on-one adult time to allow them to explore themselves and find themselves, and talking about their future and what they might like to do, and just again being there and giving them a voice, and building these trusting relationships. So that's us in a nutshell. The big buddy roles, it's the same time in the sense that it's once every week or once every fortnight for an hour or two. The commitment is slightly shorter. We ask volunteers for 3 to 6 months for this one. So yeah, that's us. We offer all of our volunteers 2 full days of training. We will cover things like what makes a good befriender, so talk about what befriending is and the kind of value of it, and things like picking up skills like active listening and how that's really important in this role. We of course cover safeguarding and how to plan sessions with your family that you're matched with, and yeah, all sorts of things like that. And then you will receive weekly support from either me, the volunteer coordinator, or one of my fantastic colleagues, and we're here for you whenever you want to kind of discuss something like that. So you'll report back to me after every session, and I'll kind of report back to you. So we'll always be in the loop. We have monthly volunteer support group meetings, which is a great chance for you to hang out with the other volunteers. They're currently on Zoom, but we might get them back face to face now. So they're a great chance for you to talk about the hardships and the challenges that you faced within your volunteering, but also to celebrate your amazing relationships and the work that you're doing and things that have gone really well. And yeah, we have 2 meetups as well each year, our summer celebration and our winter celebration, which is a great chance for volunteers, old and new, families old and new, to come together and celebrate family friends. And yeah, I think that's us in a nutshell. So
hi everyone, my name is Otis Taylor and I'm the content creator for Minds United FC. We are a community interest company aiming to help people with lived experiences of mental health issues previously and ongoing through football and sports, ideally, or specifically football and tennis right now. In the future, we would like to branch out into different sports. So right now, we are based in Latimer Road, and we run several sports programs throughout the week, from Monday to Friday. Literally every day, we have 3 sessions you can turn up and play with. We have a ladies team, men's team, and a mixed team in football and in tennis. So anyone who wants to be in a local community, who wants to go to these sessions and make new friends and feel like they are progressing in making new friends or exercising, then this is perfect for them. I just want to show the poster that we have. This is a ladies session poster that we have, and it's on Mondays and Thursdays from 1:30 p.m. to 3 p.m. and that is also at Westway and Power League, which is in my city. Over the last 2 years, we've grown from only just a few handful of people to now over 350 members coming to our sessions and coming to our league games as well. So one thing that we do as CIC is help people get into competitive football. So we run 3 leagues throughout the year. Middlesex FA League, where we have a women-only team and a men-only team, and we compete only against many different teams throughout London. So we have also 2 leagues in Surrey, which is Football for All, and there is one disability league that we are a part of as well. So anyone who would like to play football for us, doesn't matter if you have ongoing health issues or disabilities, we have the staff who are qualified and able to help you play football without being judged or having any negative attitudes towards you. For anyone here who is interested in volunteering, we welcome anyone who has skills in administration, any creatives. For example, for me, I work with one other person in the content team. I was very lucky enough to have a friend who invited me to a session, and I was able to use my skills in digital design to help Minds United. And that's when I started to volunteer for them for a month, just to see how to gain my skills and also help club thrive. So I really believed in what they were doing. And they liked my work and they wanted me to become a full-time member. And since joining Minds United, I've benefited in many ways, and mainly in my mental health. I used to have a problem with isolating myself, and I really struggled to make friends. But Minds United helped me to become, confident and to be able to speak with all of you and many different people in our sessions. If you do have any questions, please feel free to ask me anything.
Thank you, Ace. We're just going to give people a chance to type if they are typing.
Sure.
In the meantime, is there any way people should write to if they're interested in?
Yes.
Is there an email that can pop that on?
Yes. So website, we have a website called mindsunitedfc.com.
So that's hopefully in the chat, you'll see it pop up.
Perfect. And one email is admin@mindsunitedfc.com.
I know people will get lots of information about hotspots from there.
We have grown so much, and we have been partnered with many different local brands that have helped us to provide things for these people. For example, the main partnership we have is with NHS West London. What we've done recently is we've worked closely with St Charles Hospital for mental health. So we have 2 wellbeing welfare officers who work for Minds United and also NHS, and they've brought patients from the hospital to our sessions, and we've really seen positive impacts after those sessions. They felt like they could be happy and feel like that sense of achievement. They were able to score a few goals, or if they were interested in being a goalkeeper, they would say with you and they would be like, yeah, I did that, and that's one thing that we try to do every day.
Brilliant. Thank you so much. Thank you for your time and for such a great explanation of what Minds United FC does and your experiences of it. Thank you.
I just want to mention one thing. For anyone who would like to start a career in football or tennis, if you come to our club, which is based in Latimer Road, we will be able to help anyone sign up to the FA courses. So we actually pay for people to get their level 1 in football coaching and safeguarding children and adults, and also helping them to become coaches for football games and tennis games. So, we aim to do a lot for the community, and I just want to say thank you again for having me on here.
Thank you.
Hi, it's Ben here, Ben Lett from GLL, Greenwich Leisure Limited, otherwise known as Better, you might recognise from that. I'm the Community Sports Manager in Kensington and Chelsea, and I'm here at the Jobs Fair today just to give you a quick update on what positions we have. First of all, GLL, we are a social enterprise, which delivers leisure and community services to many London boroughs and nationwide, places like Cardiff, Manchester, even Belfast. So there's lots of opportunities within our company. In this borough, Kensington and Chelsea, we operate Chelsea Sports Centre and Kensington Leisure Centre, which are very nice modern centres and have swimming pools and gyms, sports halls at Kensington, squash courts, so lots of activities go on there. We as a company are a social enterprise, which means we invest in the community. So we provide support for local athletes, clubs, charities to come and use our facilities. We put on activities for older age groups as well, so they can come and access the centre. We have various different memberships for the whole community, so everyone can get involved and come down and enjoy our facilities. We also have a number of positions available in the borough, which will come down here to try and advertise and sign people up, steer them towards. These range from lifeguards. We're looking for lifeguards in Chelsea and Kensington. Chelsea, there is a vacancy there which offers training as well. So the right candidate would potentially be trained up to become a lifeguard. Their qualification will get paid for, and then they'll be given a full-time role. We're looking for things like fitness instructors at Chelsea Centre, at Kensington Centre. We might run classes such as spinning, indoor cycling, combat classes, yoga classes. We're always on the lookout for those kind of instructors as well. Sports coaches, whether it be a football coach, tennis coach, they're in demand as well. So if you know anyone, make sure you contact us. Also roles such as cleaning assistants, catering assistants at Kensington Leisure Centre, and also in our spa, we're looking for hairstylists, spa therapists. So we've got a variety of roles basically, all of which can be found at our website, www.better.org.uk. And then you would go to our jobs page, select the area, the partnership, Kensington and Chelsea, and it would give you the list of vacancies, and you can apply that. Also, it provides an email address, so if you have any questions, you can email that person. And also there's obviously a job description on there as well. So yeah, we have lots of positions within the borough and London-wide, even nationwide as well. It's also worth coming down into the centre if you're local and asking, is there anything available, because things change pretty quickly, and we're always looking out for the right person to come in. And once you get kind of foot in the door, you might get more shifts and everything, so it is worth coming in and asking ad hoc, as it were, and seeing what's available, because there's always jobs for the right people. Yeah, so please come down and visit GLL, Better, Kensington Leisure Centre, or Chelsea Sports Centre in this borough. Thank you. As I said, it is always worth coming in, and even if there's nothing on there that kind of you think you want to do or apply for, come in and kind of chat to people, chat to the receptionist, drop off your CV maybe, email the centre with kind of your qualifications or what you're looking for, because things do come up and things do change quite quickly. So it is worth getting on board and dropping things in.
Great advice. Thank you.
No worries.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Gigi Yacoub and I work for Campden Charities. Campden Charities is a charity that helps people. Our main objective is to help people with the barriers that they face to sustainable employment. So that could be with things like assisting with cost of education, training. We have volunteer incentives, which could include things to do with travel, clothing for work, clothing for interviews. Childcare is sometimes a barrier to get people back into work. We also help with essential household goods and services for people on low-income individuals and families. We try and help them improve their financial circumstances. We have several different programs for young people. One of the programs that we have is for people aged 16 and over that are in full-time education. So if they're in college or sixth form, and it's a grant that we give out a monthly payment to. That totals up to £1,500, and that's given out to them in a monthly way, just to help them with the extra costs that they might have towards, travel to college. We do a similar grant for university students, whatever their age, as long as the course fits in with our sort of university criteria. That's a £2,000 grant, and that's split up over the academic year, but in 3 terms. If they are staying in student accommodation, we can help with some of the accommodation costs, up to 2/3 of that. Our criteria is you have to have been living for a minimum of 2 years in our area of benefit, which is more Kensington and less of the Chelsea. But we have a street, so you can get in contact with us and we'll tell you exactly where it is. British citizen or indefinite leave to remain or settled status under EU. We might be changing the indefinite leave soon, so we could accept people with limited leave, but that's in the future. But for now, it's indefinite leave. You've got to be maximising your income, so at least maximising your benefits. So for you to fit into our criteria, you would have to be maximising your benefits, otherwise we won't be able to support you. Several ways to get in touch with us. You can do it via our website, which is www.campdencharities.org.uk. You can email us at grants@campdencharities.org.uk, or give us a call on 0207 243 0551. If you're already with another organisation, one of the voluntary organisations, and you're volunteering with any of those, they can also submit a referral on your behalf. So we also accept referrals from organisations.
My name is Emily and I am from the Catholic Children's Society. That's my top one. And we're a charity based in North Kensington. We help children and families from disadvantaged backgrounds, trying to help them overcome their challenges so they can have the best possible chances in life. So we have a range of different services. We have our mental health services, which work in over 80 schools across London and really work with children with quite complex mental health issues. So we have a range of therapists and counsellors working one-to-one, in group sessions, drama therapy, music therapy, and it's really about working with the school and taking a whole school approach to make a real impact for children's lives. We also have our Rainbows Bereavement Service. So again, we work with schools with this, and it's a programme where we train staff to lead these groups to help children overcome significant loss in their lives. So that's sort of the mental health side to the organisation. Then we have our family centres. So we have actually 2 family centres. We have our Stay and Play, which is near our main office in North Kensington. And then we have another family centre in Tower Hamlets called St Francis. Both of the family centres work with really young children, 0 to 4 years old, and they're from quite deprived backgrounds, and it's really about helping them and the parents get the best sort of early development as possible. So we offer sort of toys and books, and there's an outdoor space for them to play. But what's quite unique about the family centres is how closely we work with parents. We know that it's really important to kind of take this learning home and all encompassing for the child. So That's really, really impactful. We also have our crisis fund. So we have an emergency, you can apply for emergency grants if you're a head teacher or a parish priest, and this is for families in a crisis situation. So it could be fire, flooding, sort of escaping domestic violence, and it's to help with sort of essential items like beds, cooker, fridge. So they're sort of the main services that we offer, and it's all about really helping those in need, especially children and families. But I'm here today to talk a bit more about volunteering, so of course let's get into that. So volunteering wise, we're really trying to recruit for our Christmas gift appeal. This is a specific appeal we do every year, and it's where our lovely supporters donate presents to us that we can then give to the families and children that we work with. So the presents range from sort of stuffed toys to arts and crafts to sort of music sets to gift vouchers. And what we do is we then sort of organise the gifts and then send them back out to the families before they break, well, to schools, to give to the families before they break up the school. And we really need help with helping organising the gifts when we get them in. So helping organise them into age groups, to schools, and ready to package up before they go back to the schools. So we'd really appreciate any volunteers on the 7th or 9th of December to come to our head office, which is in Ladbroke Grove, St Charles Square, and help organise the gifts. And it's lots of fun. We've got Christmas music and we sort of get really excited about Christmas, but also it's an amazing feeling because you know the kids are going to get some wonderful presents and it's going to really make a difference for them. And then also sort of on top of that, we really need help getting the gifts back out to the schools. So if there's any van drivers or people with cars that are willing to drive the presents to different school areas, that would be amazing. I think I spoke quite a lot. That was a lot of information, but that's the main appeal that we're hoping to really make a difference to children and families at Christmas. And I think this Christmas is going to be particularly hard, and we really want to make a difference. So if you want to get involved, we would love to hear from you. If you need any contact details, I can share them now. Yeah, I will put them in the chat. Just putting them in now. I'll put my email address, so it'll come directly to me. And if you've got any questions, that's brilliant. And if you wanted to know more a little bit about the charity and ways you can get involved, please do get in touch.
Hi everyone. We are now concluding the event. We've had all of our speakers. We hope you've enjoyed listening to them. We hope you found interesting roles and opportunities. We will have the recording of this event on our website, so you can go to it and go straight to the organisation you want to hear from, find out what they have to offer. We'll also send the booklet around that has all the organisation's contact details, websites, social media pages, so you can find out more about them. If you have any questions, please feel free to write to us at info@kcsc.org.uk. We'll put that in the chat so you have it. Otherwise, thanks very much again for joining us, and we hope you have a lovely rest of the afternoon.